can you tell us a little bit more concerning Sheren's sexual relationships with your boyfriends? Am I correct about that?
Yes, that was part of her. That's a huge part of her mental abuse, where she spent a lot of time. It was, I guess, maybe the older I got into my teenage years, the more she saw her own age reflected in it, maybe, her aging. I'm not quite sure, but she spent a lot of time she was very vain. It's always about the way that she looked, and so she spent a lot of time picking on health, and she would tell me, you're ugly, and you're fat, or you're wearing too much makeup, or this, that, and the other thing. It was always some kind of mental abuse, and when I started dating boys and I started bringing them home, apparently she was seducing them. I would go to bed and they would come over, and from what I understood, she had sexual relationships with them, and she was caught many times, never by me, but my members of my family to keep this hidden from me because they knew that it would hurt me.
Wow.
And I didn't find out until years later that after I had gotten married that this was something she did. She even tried, the man that I'm married to now, she even tried to start a sexual relationship with him. And so, I was like, she's my mother. Why? I didn't understand why she would do this, but it's all, I guess it was part of her trying to make herself feel like she wasn't as old as she really was. I don't know. But it was certainly, in my opinion, a form of severe mental abuse. It's not something I would ever do to any of my children. I know most normal people would.
Well, God bless your heart. This is quite a testimony, and it's just, I don't even know what to say to something like this. Basically we already know the answer, but to make it clear for the people, I would like to ask you this question: did she ever make any attempt? Did she ever attempt to apologize for this, to say that she's sorry, to make it up to you? Has there been any sign of Sheren, regarding your feelings and all this?
No, she's never made an attempt to apologize. It started out as when I first tried to talk to her about this stuff, she didn't. It didn't even happen. And then when it got to the point where I told her at one point, I said, you know what? I said, you can lie to others, and you can even lie to my face, but the fact I was there and I lived it, and I know that it happened, and it's not going to make a difference. And so then she realized that telling me, okay, I don't remember it, so it never happened, it wasn't going to work. That's when she started saying, well, God forgave me for my sins, so, it doesn't really matter anymore. So how I felt about it didn't matter anymore. That was all that mattered. And that's what she's maintained all these years.
So, concerning these sexual relationships and the damage that was done due to those things, first, basically, Sheren denied it and lied about it, and then when you made known unto her that you did know about it, then it was like, well, God has forgiven me.
Right.
Okay, so she has used that as an excuse, as a cover-up, basically?
Mm-hmm. She's used that as her shield for all these years.
Okay, so they have used religion, they have used God and the Word of God as a shield.
Mm-hmm. They twist it to serve whatever they've got going on at the moment.
They twist it to serve their own purposes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And we have all seen it, and that God picks and chooses what parts of the Bible He wants to listen to and what parts He doesn't.
So what you say basically is John takes out of the Bible what he can use and disregards what doesn't appeal to him.
Right. Yeah. He changes it. I've seen him change it so many times to suit his views that it's never consistent. And he takes Bible verses out of context and he uses them for whatever it is that he wants at the moment, for whatever's going on at the moment. He twists them to serve that purpose and takes them out of context to serve that purpose. He's always done that, and the entire time I have known both of them, that's what he's done.
Wow. Including keeping your mom.
Yes.
And, you know, we have been on YouTube for like half a year right now to defend ourselves against people like John and Sheren. And one thing they do is, you know, is speak a couple of lies about the leader of this ministry, whose name is Elizabeth. And they accuse her basically of crimes she has never committed in her life. We thought that maybe they themselves have a criminal record. Do you know if they have any criminal record?
I think it's possible. John may have one. I don't know for a fact, so I can't testify to that 100%, but I know that he was into drugs and stuff before he met my mother.
Okay.
And so it's possible he's got. I know that he was into drugs. I know there were some things maybe that, and I can't remember what exactly it was from, but I think what was going on was he was having sexual relationships with men to pay for his drugs, is what I heard, is what my mother had said when they were having their confession thing.
Wow.
So there's possible that he's got a criminal record, and I know that Sheren, while she doesn't have a criminal record, her activity is pretty suspect. I mean, me and my brother and sister have all gone through the identity theft thing. We've had to straighten out our Social Security numbers because she used them to get utilities and other things turned on. I know that she used the Social Security numbers and stuff of my some of my elderly relatives, some people who were already deceased. So she's not sterling. While she has never been in jail for that, you know, there was a time when she came very close because I almost had to file criminal charges on her to get my own personal stuff fixed because she had used it for all these things. But John, it's possible he does. I can't say for a fact whether or not he does. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, I want to know if I heard this correct. John has also a history with in sexual relationships with men?
Not only just men. What my mother said when they were confessing to each other, what she told us is that when he was into drugs really bad and I guess drinking, that he would have sexual relationships with men and that he had an incestual sexual relationship with his brother. So, and this is all stuff that he supposedly told Sheren, and when she left him because she was horrified by the whole thing, she told us.
Oh my. And how long is this how long is this ago? That Sheren basically talked about this with you.
About 10 years, 10 or 11. It might be closer to 12. We try to stay away from her because she's usually with John, and being how he is, we really don't want him anywhere near our family. So you can't talk to Sheren without John. He's always there.
All right.
She couldn't even come to her own when her father died. Some of my relatives, because they couldn't bring themselves here, some of my relatives offered to pay her way here to come to her own father's funeral, and she got mad at them and refused to come to her own father's funeral because they wouldn't pay for John to come here too. But what they don't understand is John kind of creeps everybody out. It's still nobody really wants him around, but I don't know if she ever showed up at the funeral or not, but I know that she said she wasn't going to come unless